Hi, this is Chris with Nightfall Audiobooks, and this week I have for you Runaway by R.L. Stine from the Fear Street series. I have received a lot of requests for this novel. It seems to be a fan favorite. I have not read it before. I don't have any idea what to expect. I sat down to record this once before, and I read the first few pages and I was like, you know what? This looks like a supernatural thriller, and I think I'm going to wait until the time is right before I record it. And I guess that time is now. I ordered my copy off of abebooks.com. They're not affiliated, but if they want to be, they can get in touch. It sat for like 3 weeks in transit. I sent an email, I got my refund, and I received my second copy of the book, and then somehow the first book found its way to me, like 6 weeks after I ordered it. So I have 2 copies of it now. The cover looks great, and there appears to be an official town sign for Shadyside in the background. If someone had an actual sign of Shadyside like that, like a lawn sign, I would definitely put that up. That's really cool. My expectations are very high because it's been requested so much, so let's begin. What should I read next? I don't know. Send me an email, nightfallaudiobooks@gmail.com. I'm also at home right here on YouTube at Nightfall Audiobooks. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that join button to show your support. And any help is greatly appreciated. I really, truly do mean that. I also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/nightfallaudiobooks. So tell your friends, tell your mom, tell whoever you think would like to listen to me tell them tales from R.L. Stine. Thank you very much for listening, and let's begin. Welcome to a Nightfall Audiobooks production of Runaway by R.L. Stine, a Fear Street novel, Book 41. Chapter 1. Welcome to Shadyside, the sign said. Felicia Fletcher trudged along the late afternoon gloom. Dark clouds hung low and heavy, threatening to drench her again. Shadyside, she whispered. Never heard of it. She wiped her hands on her jeans. It didn't help. She was soaked, her jeans heavy with rain, her sneakers soft and squishy, her brown ponytail dripping icy water down her back. Felicia peered past the welcome sign. A bridge spanned a swiftly flowing river. The water swept crumpled leaves and twisted branches along. Felicia shifted the heavy red backpack on her shoulders. She pulled her navy blue baseball cap low over her blue eyes. Shadyside. Felicia liked the name. Maybe I can be safe here, she thought. Maybe I can start over in Shadyside. A lump rose in Felicia's throat. She didn't want to start over. She wanted to go home. Home where she had friends and people who cared about her. But she couldn't. She couldn't ever go home. Not after what she did. Don't start to cry again, Felicia, she ordered herself. You're soaking wet as it is. She turned and stared in the opposite direction. Should she try Shadyside, or keep moving? Felicia wished she could forget what happened. Forget everything and everyone from the past. Start fresh. But the memories would never disappear. The laboratory, the wires, the doctors. Dr. Shanks especially. His greasy gray beard and a loud voice. Felicia remembered the first time she had ever met him. They led her into the lab. The bright fluorescent lights hurt her eyes. They sat her down in a straight-backed wooden chair, the most uncomfortable chair she'd ever felt. The crowd around her, working. A skinny man with glasses attached sticky electrodes to her temples. Green, black, red, blue, and yellow wires ran from the electrodes into a large computer terminal. The assistants barked orders back and forth. Trial run on Module 4, a gray-haired woman in a white coat yelled. Go Module 4, the skinny one with the glasses replied. He flipped a switch, and one of the machines began a loud rhythmic beeping. Pulse is 79, blood pressure 120. Is that good? Felicia asked. They ignored her. They always ignored her questions. The skinny one with glasses moved a table in front of Felicia. Another assistant pushed in her chair. Tell Dr. Shanks that the subject is ready, the gray-haired woman ordered. My name is Felicia, she reminded them. Why can't you ever use my name? The gray-haired woman regarded her coldly, saying nothing. She picked up a clipboard and began making notes. It's spelled Felicia, Felicia grumbled. The gray-haired woman stopped writing and stared at her. Did I go too fast? Felicia asked sarcastically. The woman set the pencil and clipboard down and left the room. Seconds later, a bald man with a thick beard strode into the exam room, his white lab coat swishing with each step. He stood over 6 feet tall with a large belly. He had a long, crooked nose and deep-set eyes. Angry eyes, Felicia thought. No laughter in there. Only a big, cold, dark nothing. Felicia, he said, folding his arms across his chest. How are you today? Fine. I am Dr. Shanks. I'm running this phase of the experiment. Unlike Dr. Cooper, I will not tolerate any sarcasm. You have to understand, Felicia. You are here to learn, but to teach as well. We need to learn from you, so you must clear your mind and concentrate. If you refuse to obey that one simple rule, you will be finished here at Ridgely College. Is that clear? A jolt of anger shot through Felicia. Who does this guy think he is? They need me a lot more than I need them. Felicia gazed into Dr. Shanks's sunken eyes. He didn't turn away. He stared right back. You need to learn to control your talents. If you don't, you will put others and yourself in danger. Felicia shivered. I understand, she finally replied. Fine, let us begin. Dr. Shanks pulled a pencil from his coat pocket and placed it on the table in front of Felicia. Move the pencil across the table, please. What? Move the pencil across the table, please, Dr. Shanks repeated. I don't know if I can, Felicia stammered. She heard the machine's beeps increase with her heart rate. Her palms began to sweat. That is unacceptable, Dr. Shanks replied. Move the pencil across the table, please. I can't just do it, you know. Dr. Shanks slammed his palm down on the table. What did I just explain to you? This is not a game. This isn't even a test. This is your life, young lady. Don't yell at me, she screamed. I can't help it. I'm not one of your stupid machines. You can't just turn me on and off whenever you want. Get out of my face. Dr. Shanks drew in a deep breath. He leaned forward on the table, placing a hand on either edge. Leaned so close Felicia could feel his breath hitting her face, smell the mix of onions and spearmint. Young lady, whether you know it or not, you are blessed with one of the most remarkable talents on the face of this planet. I advise you to cooperate and concentrate. If you don't, there are more important people who are waiting to see how your abilities work, and believe me, their tests will be much more painful than this. Is that clear? Felicia wanted to rip the itchy electrodes off her temples and run out of the lab. No, she told herself, I have to be strong, I have to try. I have to be strong, I have to try. Because she knew Dr. Shanks wasn't lying. Her father had told her the same thing. A long line of doctors waited to put her strange talents to the test. Shanks would not be the worst. She stared at the pencil. Concentrate, he ordered. She focused on it, the pink eraser, the yellow paint, the sharp black point. In the background, the beeping grew faster. Felicia's heart hammered in her chest, full of anger, full of fear. Do it, she told herself. Just do it. You're not concentrating, Dr. Shanks whispered. But she was. Felicia hurled all her energy toward the pencil, and she felt something. Something growing inside her, slowly inflating, like a balloon. Concentrate, Dr. Shanks repeated. His voice dug deep into her brain. Her power grew. She pushed harder. The machines beeped faster and faster. Felicia felt the blood rushing through her veins. Heart rate 110, came a voice from nowhere. BP 180. Felicia's fingernails bit into her hands. The moisture on her palms could have been sweat or blood. Concentrate, came the voice. The doctor's voice. The enemy's voice. Kill the enemy. The power exploded in Felicia's mind. All at once, the pencil became part of her will, and she knew exactly what she wanted to do with it. The pencil wiggled. Then it slowly turned around on the table, its point turning toward Dr. Shanks. In her mind, Felicia took a strong grip on the pencil, squeezing it with all her might. The pencil stopped wiggling and rose several inches from the table. It hovered there as if waiting for an order. Now, she thought, do it. She made it happen. She forced all her anger, fear, and frustration into the shaft of the pencil. She knew it was wrong, but she couldn't help herself. Felicia aimed at the only target she could see, and let loose with all her might. Felicia cried out with the effort. It felt like throwing a giant spear. I did it, she thought. Yes! Then she watched as the pencil rocketed across the room, toward Dr. Shanks's left eye. Chapter 2. Felicia gagged and closed her eyes. She couldn't watch the pencil stab into Dr. Shanks's eye. Felicia, Dr. Shanks howled. She shook her head back and forth, her eyes shut tight. Felicia, he called again. Hands grabbed her shoulders, holding her in the chair. No, she screeched. I didn't mean it. It just happened. I know, Dr. Shanks explained. Isn't that fascinating? What did he say? She thought. Open your eyes, Felicia, he urged, his voice full of excitement. What was going on? Why wasn't he in pain? Felicia slowly opened her eyes. Dr. Shanks stood before her, grinning. His eye was fine, no pencil stuck there, no blood and gore pouring down his face. Look what you did, Dr. Shanks ordered. He pointed at the pencil embedded in the cork bulletin board behind him. What? Felicia could barely speak. You nearly killed me, Dr. Shanks cried. Missed me by an inch. Isn't that amazing? A wave of relief swept over Felicia. She didn't kill him. She didn't kill him. But I wanted to, Felicia thought. I wanted that pencil to tear into his eye. Her stomach lurched at the thought. No, that couldn't be true. She wasn't a killer. It had to be the power. The power made her want to hurt and destroy. The power was pure evil. Did you see how close you came to sticking me? Dr. Shanks asked. His enthusiasm made Felicia sick. She almost killed him, and he was happy. I knew you could do it. I knew it. Think what you could accomplish if you learned to control your telekinesis. Think of it. Telekinesis. Felicia shuddered at the word. It sounded like a disease, not the power to move objects with her mind. It wasn't wonderful or a blessing. Her father was proof of that. The power brought nothing but misery. Felicia shook her head. Don't think about it, she told herself. The lab at Ridgely College is far away now, and that's just the way she wanted it. No more experiments, no more electrodes, no more Dr. Shanks. Now there was only Shadyside and the future. All she had to do was walk across that bridge. A car horn blared behind her. Felicia whirled, her eyes wide. Bright headlights exploded in her vision. She heard the grinding sound of tires on gravel. Felicia screamed. The car sped right at her. No time to dodge away, she realized. No time to move. Chapter 3. The car roared toward her, its tires locked and skidding. Stop! Felicia gasped. But the car kept coming. A tidal wave of gravel sprayed up, stinging her arms and legs. The car ground to a halt inches in front of her. Felicia stood rooted in place, her whole body trembling. Felicia stared at the car. She could hardly believe it hadn't hit her. The car gleamed even in the gloomy light. Cherry red. And big. A GTO. The engine grumbled loudly, angrily. The passenger side window rolled down. Felicia edged closer and peered inside. That's a good way to get yourself killed, came a deep voice from inside the car. At first, Felicia couldn't make out the driver. Then he leaned closer. He had red hair down to his shoulders and a thick, pointed goatee the same color. When he smiled, he revealed a mouthful of crooked teeth. 2 or 3 more inches and you'd be history. I'm sorry, Felicia stammered. Her heart pounded. I didn't hear you coming. The man raised one eyebrow and revved the engine. It growled in response. You didn't hear this engine? He asked doubtfully. Felicia shrugged. I guess I was daydreaming. The man's gaze ran up and down her shivering form. You need a ride. It was a statement, not a question. A chill crept up Felicia's spine. Did she need a ride? Of course she did. She was freezing. Did she want a ride with this guy? She wasn't sure. Get in, he said. I don't know. If you don't get in, then I won't apologize for almost hitting you. Bye. He put the car in gear. Wait. The man turned, an expectant expression on his face. Well, it is really cold, Felicia thought. Okay, she finally replied. Apology accepted. Cool, he muttered. Plant yourself and let's go. Felicia climbed in, sliding her backpack between her feet on the floor. The driver slammed his foot on the gas and the car leaped onto the bridge, tires squealing. He pushed the car even faster when it hit the paved road on the other side. Felicia quickly strapped on her seatbelt. You have a name? The man asked. Felicia, she answered. She studied him as he drove, cheeks heavily scarred from acne, eyes set deep in their sockets, arms thickly muscled. Tattooed strings of black barbed wire circled his forearms from the wrist to the elbows, with drops of painted blood running down the fake wounds. This might be a big mistake, Felicia thought. My name's Lloyd, the man mumbled. My friends call me Homicide. He grinned. But you don't have to. Yet. Felicia smiled back at him. I can't believe I got into a car with someone named Homicide, she thought. I better not get this guy angry. That's cool. Why do they call you that? Lloyd cackled. Because I'm a killer. Felicia froze. What? She asked softly. Just a joke, Lloyd muttered. Felicia smiled nervously. She didn't feel sure he was joking. Lloyd, Felicia swallowed. Why don't you let me out here? She couldn't believe how calm she sounded. She felt terrified. Lloyd glared at her. Why? He demanded. Well, I think it stopped raining. I want to walk. Hold on a second. Lloyd smoothed his goatee back into a sharp point. I just want to get this whole thing crystal clear. You asked for my help, forced me to offer it, act like you deserve it, and now you're throwing it back in my face? Pull over, Lloyd. I don't need you anymore. Lloyd sneered, and Felicia shrank back against the car door. I'm sorry, Lloyd. I didn't mean to offend you. I didn't ask you to stop. Liar, you made me stop this car. Lloyd thrust his hand down under his car seat and grabbed the switchblade. Click. The shiny 6-inch knife popped out. Lloyd, Felicia screamed, put it down. Put it down, please. Now you understand where I'm coming from, Lloyd replied, don't you? Felicia couldn't stop staring at that blade. Her hand crept toward the door handle, but the car was accelerating. Too fast. We're going too fast for me to jump. But she had to escape, had to do something, anything. Oh, no, I promise I will never hitchhike again, ever, ever again. Felicia's heart slammed against her ribcage. Her breath caught in her chest. Lloyd, she whispered. Her voice shook. Why do you have a knife? He sneered at her and stomped harder on the gas pedal. The car sped up. Lloyd, stop, Felicia cried. What are you doing? I gave you a ride, Lloyd told her. Now you have to pay for it. Chapter 4. What are you talking about? Felicia choked out. Lloyd sneered at her. You can get out, Felicia, he growled. Just leave your wallet behind. Felicia stared at him, astonished. But I don't have any money, she stammered. Well, that's a shame, Lloyd said. But then I guess I don't have to let you out of the car. He pulled back his arm, waving the knife's blade menacingly. Felicia felt something stir inside her. It built within her, the power, filling up like a balloon, getting ready to explode. Her fingernails dug into the upholstery, and she sank deeper and deeper into the seat. She couldn't unleash it, not here, not now. Who knew what would happen? The power grew. She couldn't control it much longer. No, she thought desperately, force it back. But the image appeared in her mind, so clear and strong. The switchblade flying from Lloyd's hand into the back seat. Lloyd's palms slamming down on the steering wheel, gripping it hard, jerking it to the left, steering the car into the other lane. No, don't let it happen. You'll die. But she pictured it all. Knife flying, car swerving, metal crumpling, glass shattering, blood everywhere. It happened very fast. With a flash of bright steel, the knife shot out of Lloyd's hand. Felicia heard Lloyd utter a startled cry. He jerked the wheel to the left. The car flew across the yellow line. Felicia saw a tree looming bigger, bigger, bigger. No, we'll die. We'll both die. Too late. The car slammed full speed into the trunk of the tree. The impact threw Felicia forward, the seatbelt biting into her stomach. Metal shrieked. The windshield cracked. Felicia's head slammed back against the seat. She tasted warm, salty blood in her mouth. My tongue, she thought. I bit my tongue. Felicia could hear the steady rhythm of the windshield wiper blades. Nothing else, not a sound from the man beside her. Slowly, she opened her eyes. She stared through the windshield at the hood of the car crumpled against a tree. The front end was ripped open. Steam hissed from the radiator. Felicia turned to Lloyd. He lay slumped forward in his seat, a bright stream of blood running from a deep gash on his forehead. It flowed from his nose and chin and ran down the steering wheel. His arms hung limply. The barbed wire tattoo looked more real than ever, splattered with fresh blood. Felicia shivered. Was he alive? Cautiously, she reached out and poked him in the ribs. Every muscle in her body tensed. She expected him to roar to life and lock his hands around her throat. But he didn't move. She leaned closer. There, his chest rose. He's breathing, she thought. He's alive. I didn't kill him. But you wanted to kill him, an inner voice whispered. You killed once before, back in Ridgely. It's easy now. You know how easy it is to murder someone. You wanted Lloyd to fly through the windshield and crush his skull on the trunk of that tree, and you almost made it happen, didn't you? It doesn't matter, Felicia told herself. He would have stabbed me if I didn't stop him. Lloyd moaned. Felicia had to get out of there, now. She popped her seatbelt and pulled the door handle. The door wouldn't budge. Oh no, she whispered. Come on. She threw her shoulder against the door. Nothing. She tried again with more force. Nothing. Then she remembered the window. It rolled down easily. Felicia grabbed her backpack from the floor, pulled her baseball cap low, and crawled out. She surveyed the damage and shuddered. The sound of a car caught Felicia's attention. She turned to the road and spotted a flash of light about half a mile and coming fast. Headlights. She bolted to the side of the road and waved her arms frantically. Stop! Please stop! A groan came from the car. Oh, what did you do? Lloyd called. What did you do? Help me! Felicia screamed. She waved her arms faster. Help me, please! The headlights grew larger. Lloyd's moans grew louder. Felicia heard a thumping sound from the car. Lloyd wanted out, she knew. He wanted to come after her. She stepped out onto the road, into the car's path. "Help me! Stop! You have to stop! Please!" "You made me wreck my car," Lloyd groaned. "My beautiful car! I'm going to kill you!" Panic shot through Felicia. The car began to slow down in front of her. "Thank you," Felicia whispered. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." "I'll get you, Felicia," Lloyd called, sounding a little stronger. Felicia glanced back at the wreck. Lloyd struggled to squeeze through the window. He would be out in seconds. The other car stopped. Felicia sprinted to the passenger side and pulled the door handle. Locked. "Open the door," she wailed. "Hold it," the driver ordered. He was a boy about Felicia's age. "What's wrong? Do you need an ambulance?" She stared at him in disbelief. She didn't have time for question and answer. Lloyd was halfway out his window. "Please, open the door." The boy didn't move. "That guy needs help," he replied. "Listen to me," she yelled. "I hitched a ride with that guy and he tried to stab me." "You wrecked my car. I'll kill you," Lloyd shrieked. Felicia tried to stay calm. She looked into the driver's deep brown eyes. "He tried to take my money. I just grabbed the steering wheel and yanked," she explained. "I didn't know what else to do. You have to help me. He'll kill me." Okay, the boy replied. "Get in. We're out of here." He opened Felicia's door and she scrambled inside. The tires squealed on the wet pavement as they sped away. Felicia twisted in her seat to watch Lloyd through the rear window. His face twisted in fury as he shouted after her. "Are you okay?" the boy asked. "Yeah," Felicia replied. "Now I am." She turned around in her seat and studied him for the first time. He had gentle brown eyes and a strong jaw. He hadn't shaved in a day or two. "What happened back there?" he asked. "I told you," Felicia replied. She couldn't get her hands to stop shaking, so she made fists. "You hitched a ride with that guy." "Hey, it's cold out," she snapped. "I was soaked. I didn't have a whole lot of options." "Hitchhiking is a pretty dumb thing to do," the boy replied, "no matter how cold you are." "You think so?" "Look what happened to you," he pointed out. "You don't know who could be a psychopath." "He called himself Homicide," Felicia said, shaking her head. "No way," the boy replied. "Homicide?" "Yeah, that's when I knew I was in trouble." "Well, you're okay now," he said. "My name is Nick. Just Nick." Felicia smiled. "Is that your nickname?" He chuckled. She held out her hand. "I'm Felicia." "Pleased to meet you, Felicia." Nick shook her hand, his grip warm and firm. "Guess you're having a bad day." "Guess I'm having a bad year," Felicia muttered. Nick looked surprised. "Is it really that bad?" "I don't want to talk about it, okay?" Nick held up his hand. Okay, sorry." Felicia felt bad. She didn't mean to snap at him. Nick made her feel comfortable. She wanted to tell him about herself, but she couldn't. Not if she wanted to stay safe. Felicia could never tell anyone about her powers, or what happened that horrible day in Ridgely. "Do you want to go to the police?" Nick asked as they drove along the river road into Shadyside. "No!" she blurted out, much louder than she intended. "Don't make him suspicious." "But that guy attacked you," Nick argued. "Yeah, but I'm fine. He got his." "Okay," Nick said reluctantly. "It's your call." "Thanks." Felicia glanced over at Nick again. She wished she were an ordinary high school girl, riding home after a date with Nick. Whoa, where did that idea come from? Well, Nick is really cute, she thought, and he saved me from that crazy guy. But she couldn't trust him. She couldn't trust anyone. The piercing wail of a siren interrupted Felicia's thoughts. She spun in her seat. Spinning red, white, and blue lights flashed behind them. Her heart leaped into her throat. The police. They found her. Chapter 5. "Wow, they're really moving," Nick commented over the howl of the siren. Felicia's body went rigid. "They can't be onto me that fast. No way, unless Felicia's picture was all over every police computer in the state. The spinning lights grew larger in the rear window, the siren screaming. "I wasn't speeding," Nick growled. "What do they want?" "Can't you lose them?" Felicia pleaded. "Are you insane? I'm pulling over." He eased the car over to the curb, and the police cruiser closed in on them. This is it, Felicia thought. I'm going to jail. They know all about the deaths, and they've got me. The police car roared past them. At the next intersection, it turned right. The siren grew faint. "Ha!" Nick smiled. "I knew I didn't do anything wrong," he said as he made a left turn. Felicia let out a sigh. False alarm. Nick pulled back onto the street and they continued on. Felicia tried to orient herself, searching for landmarks and street signs and anything else that would give her information she could use later. She thought ahead all the time. trying to prepare for the next time she had to lie her way out of a sticky situation. Sometimes she hated herself for lying, but it kept her out of prison, didn't it? What's this town like, Nick? Nick shrugged. I don't know. Like any other town, I guess. Too small. Felicia nodded. Felicia? Yeah? I know it's probably not my business. He hesitated. Do you have a family around here? Felicia stiffened. She thought of her father, her Aunt Margaret, all the good times, so far away. You're right, Nick, she replied coldly. It's not your business. Hey, sorry, he muttered, but if you're in some kind of trouble. What do you mean? Come on, Felicia, you're hitching rides in the pouring rain. You won't talk about your family. And you nearly had a heart attack when the cops passed us. Nick's eyes narrowed. You're a runaway. You don't know anything, Felicia shot back. Tell me I'm wrong, Nick challenged. Drop it. I want to help, okay? What a sweet guy, Felicia thought, but she couldn't let him get too close. Thanks, but you've done enough already, she replied. Fine, Nick answered. They rode in silence for several blocks. I hurt his feelings, Felicia realized. She had to say something. Nick, I mean it. You really have helped me so much, she told him softly. I'll never be able to repay you. But if you want to help, you have to forget you ever met me. It's important. She spied a little shop coming up on the right, the donut hole. Let me out here, she instructed. Felicia. No, really, let me out, Nick. Okay. He pulled over and put the car in park. Look, I don't care why you ran away. If you need anything. No, Nick, she interrupted. Believe me, I'll be fine. She smiled at him. If only I could have met him some other time, she thought. Some other place, some other life. Felicia couldn't help herself. She leaned over and kissed him lightly on the lips. Thanks. He blinked in surprise. You're welcome. Felicia grinned, then her smile faded. Remember, the best thing you can do for both of us is to forget all about me. She grabbed her backpack and opened the door. How am I supposed to forget about you after you kissed me? Nick grumbled. You seem like a smart guy, Nick, she replied. You'll figure it out. Before he could say anything more, Felicia slammed the car door, turned, and strode into the donut hall. She didn't look back. Felicia headed straight to the bathroom. She changed into dry clothes. She combed out the tangles in her hair, wishing she had a blow-dryer. Then she retied her ponytail and put her baseball cap back on. The dry clothing felt wonderful. She walked back into the donut shop and ordered a toasted bagel and coffee. She took her food to the booth farthest from the door and the other customers. She pulled her hat low. No one noticed her at all. Perfect. Now that she had time, Felicia wanted to figure out what to do next. She didn't have a place to stay, and the few dollars in her pockets wouldn't keep her eating much longer. The bottom line, she needed a job. Where to begin? She sighed and took a bite of her bagel. Then Felicia caught the piece of conversation between two teenagers in the next booth. I can't believe I did it. This is going to destroy our whole vacation, one boy moaned. I totally forgot. You're such an idiot, Bobby, the second boy said. How long have we planned this trip? How could you forget about it? I needed the money. Dr. Jones gave me $100 up front. How could I refuse? I think you offered to watch his house over on Fear Street and feed his mangy cat because of your grade, the second boy accused. You think now he'll give you a B+ instead of a B-. Bobby chuckled. Well, maybe. I can't believe you, the second boy continued. You can't find anyone to do this cat-sitting job? Felicia smiled to herself. It's about time something went right for me, she thought. I can get everything I need from these guys. It can work, but you better be convincing, she warned herself. Felicia took a deep breath. Now or never. She turned around and leaned into their booth.